Freddie, Freddie, Freddie. What we gonna do? Freddie the Freeloader here. Hello everyone. Hey everyone, Freddie the Freeloader here. Going to work on this great song by Miles Davis on his Kind of Blue album. And it's a basic blues, 12-bar blues, but it's got two different endings. And the first ending goes to an A flat, which is kind of an unusual turnaround chord for a B flat blues, but it works out pretty nicely. I'm going to talk a little bit about bass lines. We're into solo piano playing these days, so it's good to have some bass lines worked out, and it's also a good idea to know how to improvise over those bass lines. So we'll talk about the bass line. So whenever you get a new chord, like at the beginning of the song or in the second line when you go to E flat, you want to usually almost always play that note first. Play the B flat. Then we've got 4 measures. We do not have to play the B flat again. But when we get to E flat, we need to. Now, I think it would be a good idea in the third measure to go ahead and play that B flat again, since we're doing that melody again. And I'm using a rootless voicing here of A flat, which is the 7th, then the 9th, the 3rd, and the melody is the 13. All right, you can think of it as the 6th because it's 6 notes up. But since we have a 7th already, we call it the 13. All right, I'm just changing the top note there. Now, what can the bass player do here? Bass player can outline the chord. And it's very typical for bass players to, even when they're playing walking bass or 4-quarter notes to the measure, to put in some little syncopated notes as well, like this. Okay, now a good way to go from one chord to the next is to kind of approach it chromatically, like the last bar of B flat, going to E flat, or you could come down to it, like that. And this is the same chord as I was doing down here, but now it's in E flat. We got the 7th, the 9th, 3rd, 13th. And so what could we play on the E flat? We can play chord tones like this. And then back to B flat. Or we could go along the scale like this. And here, it kind of seems like you might approach it from below like this, which I think would be all right, but I kind of like doing it from above, like that. And this is a F sharp, well, I guess we should call it G flat. G flat, there's our 3rd, our 7th, and our 9th. And you could do that. And then this one also goes down like this. And here I'm just playing the 3rd and the 7th, 3rd again, but I could maybe add in the 9 too. Where's that? Right here. And do it like that. That would fill out the chord a little bit better. And then we've got A flat. And Here's A flat 7th. We could, since the bass player will be playing the root, we could just move that root to the 9 and have a nice A flat 9 chord. Now it's always good to approach a new chord chromatically. So coming out of the A flat, to get back to the B flat. I did not go to the A flat that time because I was taking the second ending. Now, that was just kind of playing blues ideas, blues scale. All right, we've got the blues scale in B flat. All right, that'll work over the E flat chord as well. And will it work over the F chord? Yes, it works over any chord. However, the A flat being just a little bit outside of the general harmony of the piece, it doesn't really quite sound like it fits there, so we could maybe switch to the A flat blues scale. But that doesn't seem quite right either. So I think we just have to kind of make up something there. And you could use this other blues scale, which is, instead of the 3rd and the 4th and the sharp 4 and like that, you could use this one. And I think that would sound pretty good. And if you know an F blues scale, it is that same scale, just starting on A flat. And, you could always add a couple of notes here and there. You gotta play around with it yourself and figure out what notes sound really good. I can tell you this will sound good on the A flat. And it looks like a little bit of the C blues scale, but it really isn't, because you're not going to go to the G. And then back to B flat. Now, when you're walking, and this is a key thing to remember, and listen to Sonny Rollins' trio, because there's no piano player, there's just a bass and whatever Sonny is playing. Or another good thing to listen to, Mel Torme with the Marty Page Dectet. They use a horn section as the rhythm instrument, playing the chords and playing some nice background figures. But a lot of times it's just Mel singing and the bass player playing, and they arrange it so that the bass player plays the root and Mel is almost always going to be singing the 3rd or the 7th of the chord. And that's what we want to kind of do when we're improvising, with just a single line in the left hand and a single line in the right hand. So we want to hit that 3rd. That will definitely define the chord. All right, and then, we can mess around and play blues scale. And the 3rd is there, the 7th is here or here, and so I want to kind of hang around in those areas. And then look, 3rd and 7th, now in E flat, this is the 3rd and the 7th. All right, before we had the 7th and the 3rd, now on E flat, the 3rd and the 7th. So we can kind of look around in those areas. Now I'm on the 7th and I'm going to head down to the 3rd. Notice how simple I'm keeping the left hand. All right. It's very brain intensive to improvise a left-hand bass line and improvise a right-hand solo. It takes your brain switching back and forth and thinking very quickly about what you're going to do next. One way around that is work out a bass line and practice it so many times it just comes to you automatically. Another way is to keep it very simple, and that's what I'm going to do now. There, I just went to my notes of that rootless voicing there, and you can use those notes as well because, they've got the 7th and the 3rd. You can play all of these notes, will sound pretty good. Use some chords in your solo too. And of course, if you know some blues riffs, you can just throw them in. You can really just stick to the B flat scale, the blues scale, the whole time practically. Things you want to avoid, playing the same thing in the right hand that your left hand is playing. Things you want to do, maybe move in opposite directions. Freddie, what you doing, Freddie? Freddie. I love it when people tell me they are binge watching my channel. If you're working on a particular song, there's a good chance I may have covered it. So, spend a little time with that particular video and just take from it the stuff that's useful to you. A lot of times I cover a lot of different things, and it's already distracting enough to be, using YouTube and seeing all the other videos you could be watching. Find a video that you like and you learn some stuff from it. Spend a few days working on that material, before just searching out more and more stuff, because it takes time to absorb something new, and you want to practice it so it gets into your head and into your fingers and into your heart. And, then come back and leave me a nice comment or give me a thumbs up. Anyway, I do appreciate you being here and watching the video, especially if you made it all the way to the end. See you again soon. Thanks, everyone.